guys, and welcome back to another Goop Lab review. This is for the third episode, aka the episode. You know, the only reason why most people are even bothering with this show and talking about it in the first place is this episode. The third one, entitled The Pleasure Is Ours. It's the VJJ episode. Let's just not mince words. So, its little blurb on Netflix says, going from real vulvas to true vulnerability, Gwyneth and the team plunge into the topic of women's pleasure, guided by sex educator Betty Dodson. That description does not prepare you for what this episode is. Oh, no. But at the same time, I must say, I feel like this episode is really all that the people who made the show really wanted to make, because judging by the way it was put together and how well filmed and all it is, I'm like, so basically you just wanted to make this one episode, but Netflix told you you had to have other episodes, so everything else is just fluff? Got it. Okay. But that said, it's not a bad episode. It's possibly awkward depending on who you are. I would imagine for guys it's probably real awkward. Even Gwyneth herself, like, half of this episode looked like she's like, the fuck am I doing with my life? It's just the expression on her face, even though this is literally her idea. She is literally the one that is so obsessed with that part of the body, and yet she looks mildly horrified like the entire damn time. Now, I need to make a little side note here. Betty Dodson, the sex therapist in this, is like a little 90-year-old woman. She is a badass. But I feel like, for anyone who has ever seen a certain scene in The O in Ohio, where Liza Minnelli was a sex therapist, I feel like that character was based off of specifically this woman. And given that Goop Lab is based in New York, I feel like this is entirely possible. Like, the way she phrases things, like everything, the stuff she does, I'm like, oh my god, this was the inspiration for that character. I am positive of it. And that amuses me to no end. Because those of you who know me know, just how frequently I repost that one scene from that one movie. Just to never let anyone forget that this was a thing that happened. If you've never seen it, just, go search it right now. Come back. Report back. Anyways, it will never not be funny to me, but anyways. So, first thing first, the sex therapist in this episode, like, one of the very first things out of her mouth is how it is a pet peeve that people refer to that entire area as the vagina, when that's not true. And you know what? I fucking agree with her. I don't know when exactly people started doing that, but it actually bugs me too, because it's not even accurate, and most people don't care. So I've kind of gone along with it just because it's the social norm at this point, but yeah, she's right. That's not it. The only part that is the birth canal. Everything else on the outside, all the fun stuff, is the vulva, and she is absolutely correct, and I actually was like, okay, you know what? You have already won me over, lady, and we're only like a couple minutes in. Let us hear what wisdom you have to drop on us all. So, also, side note that's totally not even important to any of it, one of the patches on her jacket is definitely the logo from the Beatles Come Together single, and she has it like right here where it's like front and center like all of the time, and I couldn't not stare at it. And I'm like, I knew damn well I wasn't the only one who took that song that way. Thank you, lady. But anyway, she's like an old-aged hippie, but she's like awesome. So I freaking love this lady. I'm like, I would hang out with this lady. She seems fun. But anyways, so she's going on about that, and Gwyneth just seems like over her head, and I didn't know that. It's like, oh, could you be any more blonde? And she's trying to like explain this to her, and she, again, looks horrified by it. It's like, really right now? Really? The chick sitting next to her, as she's listening to everything that the woman's saying about, her, not seminars, but what is the word I'm looking for here? Basically, these, she has these things where she has a group of women, all ages, sizes, ethnicities, it doesn't matter. They all come into her apartment, they all sit together, they all get naked together. It's not a sex thing. They all get naked together because it's the ultimate vulnerable thing, and it's just like an empowering woman thing. And they all look at each other's... Yeah. It's like... What? And apparently she teaches them all how to get off. And she does this a couple times a year. It's like... Okay. I wasn't expecting them to show it. They show it. They show all of it. They show it all. And that is one of those things where before you even have a chance to register, it's like, okay, so those are a pair of senior titties that I'm looking at. Okay, so we're just going all out. Okay, fair enough. On the other hand, I also applaud this, because they're not only showing young, tight, taut women with perfect bodies. No, they're actually showing real fucking women at all ages. You know what? Yes. This. I actually am all for Netflix showing that. Thank you. Even if it was initially awkward in the moment of just not expecting that, in hindsight, thinking about it after the fact, I'm like, I'm really glad they did that. And not only that, but then showing... I'm trying not to get demonetized. I probably will anyway, but they show all of it up close and personal. And they show all different types of them. And I was like, again, thank you, Netflix, for doing that. It's technically not the first time Netflix has ever shown that up close and personal, but I think it's the first time on a Netflix original that they have gone there. Because I know there was, it may still be up, some British show that was on Netflix a while back called, I think it was Embarrassing Bodies, where, yeah, almost every damn episode you were up close and personal with at least one of them. Unfortunately, usually diseased, but I mean, you were up close and personal, like, right there with them. It's like, oh, okay, alright, we're doing this, okay, so, and yet I watched it anyway. But I think this one is the first Netflix original to go there, and that was pretty brave. My only thoughts there is that while they did go for all varying sizes and shapes of those, they definitely did not have even one representation, not even one, of full bush. And you know damn well, there is a lot of older women who have not gotten aboard the whole trend of shave it all off. There's tons. I know, you're in denial. There's tons. And just through empirical and anecdotal evidence, and research, it's coming back. So, I mean, that's kind of doing an injustice to not normalize that, too. But, just saying, but they show all of it, and they say how all of it's normal. I'm like, to me, this is no big deal. But I think there's a lot of women who probably feel like, yeah, theirs probably isn't normal, because when do you ever see another one? Unless you're LGBT, when do you ever see another one? You just assume that yours is probably not normal because there's nothing to compare against other than porn, which it's not realistic representations of them, because almost all those women have friggin' labiaplasty, which they mention in this too, and I'm like, thank you. Fucking thank you. And they went into a very disturbing statistic about how common that's become, to where girls as young as 9 are asking for that surgery. I'm like, oh, no. Any surgeon who's doing that to a 9-year-old should have their license fucking revoked. That is child abuse. Holy shit. Not to mention, what parent signs off on that? That just is all sorts of fucked up on another level, but... God, yeah, they went into that and how that is not real life, that is not normal, that is not what that's supposed to look like at all. And I'm like, thank you. Thank you for this. Like, can we just signal boost that message right there? Thank you. As well as the, what was the term she used for it? Performative, am I don't think it was performative pleasure, but it was performative something, but basically a fancy word that meant faking your orgasms and why that is bad, and why even also in porn, it's not an accurate representation. Almost every single one of those women is faking it. Again, I'm like, thank you, thank you, thank you. This needs to be said more, and how so many women feel just the need to, if not fake it completely, to at least they try and vocalize more than they actually feel it just for their partner's sake. That is not something you should be doing, because your actual responses are a freaking roadmap for your partner of whether or not they're actually getting the job done. And it's okay to not get there every time. And to talk about it after. She just talks about it so plain as day. I'm like, oh my god, please, we need more people like you in the world. I get that she's like 90, please, let there be more people in the world like her who can just talk about this. Holy crap. It needs to be said. Holy shit. But, I'm just like, she is a badass on every possible level. So, and, as I was starting to say before, the chick who was sitting next to Gwyneth was mentioning how she's never done the whole mirror look at it thing. And she's like, you've never seen yourself? And she's like, no. She's like, come over here right now. It's like, oh shit. So we know that's going down. But it's like, holy crap. But you would think they'd have prepared for this, knowing they were going to meet this lady on this day. That maybe, just maybe, you might want to at least prep a little bit. Get familiar with it if you never have. And I don't know, I'm just mind blown that there's anyone who hasn't, but apparently there are people who haven't. I'm like, bitch, please, I was 9 years old and looking at that shit with a mirror because I wanted to know what the hell was over there. But apparently there is grown-ass women who have never, ever looked at it. I'm like, how the hell can you even possibly comprehend what it is that you need and want your partner to do if you don't even know what equipment you have? Like, really though. And I'm sorry if I'm making people uncomfortable, but again, it's stuff that needs to be said. This is, I mean, if we were talking about guys, nobody would bat an eyelash, but because it's women, it's taboo, and that's bullcrap. But, I have no shame, so I'm like, I'll talk about it, I don't care. But, and she went into all of these statistics about different things, and, very informative. I'm pretty sure I knew the grand majority of everything in this going in, but then again, not surprised. But for a lot of people, I could see how this episode would be a very eye-opening thing. And it does culminate at the end of the episode where she teaches a woman through her tried and true technique of how to have a powerful orgasm using a vibrator and apparently a dumbbell for down there. Again, trying not to get demonetized. I'm not even ashamed of saying the word. I got dinged so fast on the candle video. I eventually got it remonetized, but I lost out on like half of the views monetization, so I'm trying to maybe avoid that happening again, but, because, like, we're not talking about anything bad. This is not something that should be taboo, but, anyways, I was, like, intrigued by this dumbbell thing. I'm like, tell us more about this? These are something I've not heard of. And she was talking about pelvic floor muscles and PC muscles and exercises and Kegels, and Gwyneth, it just glazed over, and what are PC muscles? It's like, even the chick next to her was like, I feel like I need to caption it with, like, bitch, really? But it was like, how the hell do you not know? Okay, so the lady has to basically explain it to her, and explain how you control them. I'm like, I have known this info since before I was in double digits. I realize I'm not the norm, but I would assume most grown-ass women are aware of this by the time they're an adult anyway. But I'm just like, the fuck? How the hell? You've had children even. How do you really not know about the pelvic floor muscles? Like, I'm sorry, like, that probably isn't saying great things about her in the bedroom if she doesn't know how to control those at all. Just saying. Sorry, I went there. But anyways, so she's going on about, she invented this dumbbell thing. It's like medical grade, I think she said stainless or surgical steel, and it's weighted on both ends so that it doesn't pop out as you squeeze those muscles. I'm like, this woman knows her shit. Holy hell. Like, why do more people not know of this lady? Like, she should be freaking famous. She should. I'm just saying, she is revolutionary. But, so she had the woman pop that in and gave her a Hitachi magic wand. Yes, I am well acquainted, but I'm like, oh yes, magic wand, yes, the Cadillac of vibrators. But, if I wasn't demonetized before, I am now. I'm positive of it. And they're showing her use it and doing her rock and roll technique, which has nothing to do with music. It's a breathing and pelvic shift technique thing that apparently results in much more satisfying, more intense orgasms. So it's like, huh. Would have been nice if she'd like gone into a little more detail of how exactly to do that. That would be nice info for the rest of the world to have, but still, it's just like, and they show it. And they show her having like an actual legit one on camera. I'm like, finally a non-faked one on camera. More people need to see that. Because it's not the screaming shit you see in porn. And it just, I don't know. That bothers me to no end that people think that's the norm, and it's just not. It's not. But I'm just like, I expected to laugh at this episode. I expected to ridicule it and shred it top to bottom. I loved it. I will unashamedly say I loved it. I cannot believe I'm saying that about something on the fucking Goop Lab. But I loved it. Unashamedly so. I don't know if I'll be able to say that about the remaining 3 episodes. I mean, we still have the vampire facials coming up. We still have the energy healing. We still have the psychic powers episode to go. So I don't know how I feel about those, but we will be watching them. We will be reviewing them. Just saying. But anyways, I think that's really about all my thoughts on this one. That I was very surprised at how well done this was and how well filmed it was and just everything about it. It just felt like you really wanted this to be a standalone documentary, but maybe it wasn't long enough. Maybe Netflix was just like, no, strike while the iron's hot, get a whole show out of it. I don't know what the deal was, but it definitely feels like this was what they really set out to want to do. And they did do it well. I will give them credit where credit's due. They did do it well. So, anyways, that is it for this one. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. If you're not already and you'd like to be, click subscribe, hit that notification bell icon so you never miss an upload, leave comments down below. Have you seen this? What were your thoughts on it, good, bad, or otherwise? Have you seen any of the other episodes? Again, thoughts about this or about anything at all, really? Even not about Goop Lab, leave it down below in the comments. Let's have a conversation. No shame. This is a no shame zone. If I see you shaming anyone, your comments will be deleted. So, I don't normally censor anyone, but this, given the nature of this topic, we're not going to play that game. So, anyways, make sure you're following my social media accounts, my Facebook fan page, my Twitter, my Instagram, my Etsy, everything and more. It's all down below. And if you like what I do here on this channel and you'd like to help support it, the donation link, as always, is down in the description. And in case you guys need to hear it today and you haven't yet, I'm proud of you. I love you. See you next time. Bye-bye.